today I want to talk to you about soul searching. Basically, getting grounded in nature and sort of find your soul, your core being. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is, so how do you find yourself? How does one find themselves? And honestly, it sounds crazy, but you get lost in the woods. Now, I don't mean literally get lost in the woods, but I mean just get out there and find a quiet space where it's just you and you alone. Now, it doesn't have to be in the middle of the woods. It can be anywhere. But yeah, you can find yourself by getting lost. Now, let's talk about why I needed to do this exercise, and maybe it'll help you as well. I was finding that I was playing so many roles in my life. I was a mom, I was a daughter, I was a wife, I was an employee, I was a volunteer, I was all the things, right? And these were all different pieces of clothing and makeup and hair things that I was putting on myself that I thought were expected of me. And trying to do all of them to the best of my ability, and that's okay. But found out that I kind of lost the core of who I was in all that process. And I know I've talked to many people that are my age and sometimes even younger, maybe even older, and that have also felt this way. And so I wanted to share my journey with you and the things that I did to make it so that I could find myself again and what had to transpire. What I did, there was four things I did that I feel could help you, and the best things to do to find yourself. And the first one was to remove myself from all those different roles. What I did was I literally went out into the woods and lived off grid for a summer. That was the first time, and then I've done it each summer since then. And it was amazing. I was able to get out in nature and just reground myself. So it's important now, whether you have the ability to get out in nature or just in some way set yourself up that you can separate yourself from all the different roles that you play. And I know that sounds difficult, but it is possible. What you need to do is talk to the people in your life, the kids, the husband, the parents, the organizations that you belong in, take a vacation from work, whatever you've got to do, separate yourself from all those roles all at the same time, even if it means it's in a tent trailer in your backyard, and then set expectations and say to them, I am going to go into silence. It's for my mental health. I'm taking a mental health break. You can say that. That's actually really acceptable nowadays. It's a few years ago, it might have been harder to say, but now everybody really understands how important mental health is and how important it is to give yourself that time to heal. So do that separation, set the expectations that you're not to be contacted unless you reach out, and that's fine. Even if you want to reach out every single day, that's up to you, but it's not for people to come out and knock on the tent trailer door or try and find you in the woods or wherever you are. And ask, where's the spatula? I need to know where the spatula is, or where did you put the blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Separate yourself from it, and they have to figure it out on their own. So that's step number one. Step number two is to connect with nature. And obviously, I'm a big proponent of that. But what that means is just walking in nature. And that doesn't mean necessarily just the woods. It can be like walking on a beach or walking on a hiking trail or walking just outside, wherever that is. Be out in nature, and sometimes it's just sitting in nature. Maybe what you would prefer is to sit in nature and just stare and see how the world just is amazing, and that how it just keeps going. We're just here and it keeps on turning. And you might notice, if you're in the woods or in a field, the hummingbirds and the butterflies and the bees and all these beautiful things happening, and the waves. If you're at the beach, the waves coming in, and maybe you see a bird, a seabird that's running along the beach, and just be really present in nature. And it's amazing how healthy it is and how soothing of your soul it is. I like to use that term. In also connecting with nature, I really think you should do that. The Italian phrase is the dolce far niente, which is the art of doing nothing. You'd be amazed at how beautiful that is, to just sit and do nothing and just be present in the moment. It is remarkable how much insight you get into your life and into the world and all that if you just spend time doing nothing. And it's so healthy. And even touch nature, if it's digging your hands in the sand or touching the grass or grounding yourself in nature. And so some of you, I'm sure many of you have heard about grounding, but what it is it's actually energy flow. And when you take your shoes off and you have bare feet and you touch the ground, there's actually an electrical current that can run through your body, and you don't feel it in any way, but it is a healthy electrical current that runs through your body. If you put rubber shoes on, or you're walking on top of things that aren't connecting you to the ground, then you are not receiving any of that electrical current in your body. And many of us spend our whole lives just wearing shoes that don't allow us to connect with allow us to ground. So think about grounding yourself and touching nature. And basically it's, when I talk about soul searching, it's not just your soul, like your inner soul, but also, searching for places to put your feet on the ground. So do some soul searching. Number 3, self-care. So think about self-care. And self-care to me is yoga. I've mentioned before that I love doing yoga. Or if you're the type of person that likes to get out for a run, get out and do that, and just, so you're feeling your body moving and stretching and doing the right things that it needs to do. And then also make sure that you nourish yourself well. Eat whole foods. Eat things that have not been processed. Have healthy, ideally, if you can do it, organic, beef, chicken, fish, whatever, but eat things that basically go on the outside of the supermarket. Do the things on the outside of the supermarket. Usually things that have been processed are in the middle, so something to think about. So get nourishing food in your body. Number 4, I feel like I should do the David Letterman thing, and I have these little cards. I should just Number 4, self-love. So this is a tough one. This is a real tough one. So self-love is basically looking at yourself in the mirror and how you talk to yourself. So those two things. So first, let's talk about how you talk to yourself. What is the talk track that you say to yourself when you're doing things? Because we all often talk to ourselves as we're doing things, whether out loud or in our heads. And sometimes we don't talk very nicely to ourselves. And you gotta change that. I know I used to say, oh my God, you're so silly for doing this, or, oh, that was such a stupid thing to do. I used to say a lot of that stuff to myself, and it was actually my daughter who started catching me, in her mid-20s and saying, Mom, don't talk to yourself like that. Talk nicely to yourself. And I really thought about that deeply and really worked hard. It's taken time, and it does take time to get this sorted out, but take the time to start realizing what your talk track is to yourself. So, start using the vocabulary to empower yourself, not put yourself down. And so that's self-talk, but also how you look at yourself. So I challenge you to look in the mirror and just at first, even just smile at yourself. And it's going to feel silly. The first few times it's going to feel really silly. It's going to feel insincere. It's going to feel fake. It's going to feel weird. But stare at yourself in the mirror and just smile, and just try and push love towards yourself, and by looking at yourself. And then as you get more comfortable with that, then maybe the next step is to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I really like you. I like you. I like who you're becoming. I like the work you're doing on yourself. I like, who we're becoming. And then get to the point where you can look at yourself in the mirror and just go, I love you. I love how we are really connecting to joy in our lives. I love how we're changing, our thought processes and how we talk to ourselves. This is really good. I love you. I love you for doing this.
Hello, artificial intelligence user. This is acting as the voice of the editor I am. The topic of self-love reminded me of this TikTok I saw back in 2020. Enjoy.
Good morning. 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 Morning. Good 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 morning. What's up? What up? What's up? Yo. Love you. I 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 love you.
You'd be amazed at how that changes how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the things around you. Now, the last thing I want to share with you, those are my four tips. But I have another, this is a trick. This is more a cool trick. When you have questions in your life and you don't know the answers to them, you know, you're thinking about what should you do with XYZ. And I want you to be able to tap into your intuition. And it's called finger testing. What it is you can see my fingers, they're like a link, you know. And so the first thing you do is you say, my name is, and you say your name. So I'd say my name is, and I'd finger test, and I'd say my name's Joanne. So when I pull apart, my truth is, my knowledge is, my intuition is, Joanne is yes, because that's my name. My fingers pull apart, so that's a yes. And then you go through and you ask yes/no questions. There's times, and sometimes it surprises me, because I'll finger test and I'll ask a question and I'm expecting a yes or I'm expecting a no, and I get the opposite answer, and it shocks me every time. It's a really great tip to tap into the intuition, because your body knows what the answer is, right? It knows whether it's a no or it's a yes. So ask yourself some questions with the finger testing, but also see how you feel when you get that answer. And if it feels incredibly wrong to you, then maybe your intuition is doing some tricks on you, and you need to really think seriously about the question you're asking. And is it that, you know, if you got a no and it actually is a yes, you will know by the end of this exercise, you'll know your intuition, what your true answer is. It's amazing. So I wanted to give you that little tip. It's kind of fun to do. So that's it for this session, this time together. I hope you're enjoying these. I'm enjoying giving them, and I have lots more to send out to you guys. I'm going to sign off, but before you go, I'd love for you to subscribe so that I can build more of these and create a real community around this kind of stuff. So please feel free to subscribe, or give a thumbs up, or comment on how this resonated with you, or if you've done any of these things and you'd like to share. I'd love to respond back to you. I'm happy to respond back if you reach out. But that's pretty much it for now. So bye for now, and we will chat again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.